I helped this e-commerce business drive over $1.472 million in revenue using Facebook ads. In fact, they drove over $4 million in Shopify revenue. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how to find winning ads, how to steal the best ads from your competitors and make them better, how to put those ads in a perfect structure, how to graduate those ads so you know you're scaling the right ads at the right time. And then finally, I'm gonna show you how to scale. And just a heads up, this video is gonna be completely contrary to 99% of the Facebook advice that you see out there. People that scale 10% per day, they are not like us. What we focus on here is scaling quickly, rapidly, and profitably. If you could stick along for this 20-minute video, you will have what it takes. If you can't, if you click out of this video so quickly, then let's just call it for what it is. You're not gonna be able to understand strategies, and you're likely bouncing around from one strategy to the next strategy to the next. Okay, so the very first step of this process is finding your competitors. Obviously, you know the top 2, 3, 4, 5 competitors that come right to your brain the moment you think of your product. However, what we're gonna do right away is we're gonna generate a list of 20 to 30 competitors that specifically hit your niche. We're gonna do this mostly using ChatGPT, and I'm gonna give you the exact prompt that I prefer to use. First off, hop into ChatGPT, and what I recommend saying here is write me a list of my top 30 competitors for this brand. They should be a mix of big and small brands. They should also have a history of running Facebook ads. And what we're gonna do is then go to any website. So for this case, we're gonna use gymshark.com for our example. So just drop in the Gymshark URL or your brand URL, of course. And then what we're gonna see right away is a collection of around 30 competitors. You're gonna notice right away, especially because we used a big brand like Gymshark, that we're gonna see a lot of very, very obvious brands in here. Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Lululemon, the biggest of the big brands. But we're also gonna see a mix of brands that we don't think about too often. We're thinking about brands like Young LA, 10,000, Girlfriend Collective, Outdoor Voices, brands that are on the rise that are more similar size to Gymshark. What we're gonna be able to do now is we're gonna be able to use this list to actually find out who's running really, really solid ads. From this list, the next thing that I always like to do is, instead of using my own brand, is I think about who's my North Star brand? Who is the brand that I hope to achieve? Who do I want to be one day? For you, if you're just starting out, cool. Put your brand that's a couple stages ahead of you. What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to think about just dropping in Nike here. I want you to think about just taking a brand that is going to take you one more step ahead. If I was Gymshark, Nike might actually be the fit for me. However, if I was a smaller brand, I might just want to go one step up, right? So if I was a small athletic wear brand, something like Girlfriend Collective, 10,000, Reigning Champ, Young LA, those are big brands, but they're not gigantic Nike, worldwide, internationally known brands. Those brands are what we want to take a look at. Once we have our list of roughly 30 brands, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into Facebook ad library. So this is literally facebook.com/ads/library. And once you're in here, you could literally type in all of your competitors and it'll show you every single ad that they're actively running. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna head into ChatGPT and we're just gonna pick a random brand. What you're gonna notice is some of these brands, they might not even run ads at all. So the first brand I'm gonna try is Young LA. We're gonna go to our Facebook ads library. We're gonna type in Young LA and we can see first piece right here. And it looks like they've run about 220 ads. You'll notice on the right side here, it says active status is active ads. We're gonna X that out. I don't really care about what's exactly active because people launch drops, they change ads all the time. So what I really, really want to pay attention to is when we scroll all the way down to the bottom, we could see which ads launched a long time ago and what are they keeping active. Because what I really want to find out is what ads can they not even afford to pause down. That is such a big insight. Think about that. If you have an ad that's a winner, you never shut it down. You keep it on forever and ever. So if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, what we're gonna do is find any tag that says active here. And then we wanna start looking when these started to run. So for example, this ad started running January 16th, 2024. That is almost a year from this recording date. It's December 4th, 2024. So this ad right here has been running since January 16th, 2024, and it doesn't look like they've shut it off since. Now we can even go a step further and look at the ad details, which means we could see, in many cases, impressions. Now, this one we're not able to see impressions. I actually don't know why, but in many cases, you'll be able to see the total impressions run across Facebook right under here. The key of this is just finding trends. You're gonna notice as you continue to do this across different verticals, you're gonna find trends of what you think looks good and what's been running for a really, really, really long time. What we wanna try to find is what's been running the longest, and we want to just bank those. Now, I actually have a little secret if you're listening so far. I create created a list of every single ad that I love in the market right now. These aren't going to be specific to your niche, of course. They are going to be just what I think is working the best. Now, this isn't purely just my opinion. This is also based on hundreds and hundreds of days of active ads. That is the key here. These ads are all active for over 3 months, meaning they were working for these big to medium-sized brands. This is the dashboard that you'll get access to. You're going to have a ton of different ads. I update this regularly. That's the best part, is I update this every week or so with a batch of new ads that I'm finding to work really well. These are from some of our competitors. These are from some of our clients. And this is where we track all of the best ads across the entire industry. If you want this completely free, it's pinned in the very first comment and it's also in the description below. So for this client in particular, we noted down what we love to see across hundreds and hundreds of different advertisers. And basically what we found is that there were certain types of ads that work really, really well for sales. There were certain types of ads that work really well for evergreen periods. So let's say, for example, that this was an ad we were really focused on. We took this exact inspiration, and I know it's literally a picture that says you're the best butt ever, but the key of this is that we took this template and we copied this template and we put our own spin on it. It's called stealing like an artist. It is the most ideal way to create something good. You take something that is already very good, you are inspired by it, and you make it a little bit better. Once you found your competitors using ChatGPT, you found the top ads that they're running in Facebook ads library, and you've copied those ad formats. Now you have to actually create a scaling and a testing structure. So let's go into this Facebook ad account and I'm going to show you exactly how this is set up and how you can implement it today. First off, I understand that these numbers here are overwhelming for some of you, especially people that are just getting their feet wet in Facebook ads or people that are only spending $20,000, $30,000. Basically, what we have here is, first and foremost, you have seen this structure before. Just a little hint, guys. It is this structure right here. We've gone through this so many times on this channel, but the key is it's modified. It is built specifically for scaling now. So take a look at this now. It's a little bit different, but you're gonna get insane results because you're gonna be able to scale. The key is we create that scaling mechanism, we create a testing mechanism, and we leverage the graduation process into the scaling mechanism. First campaign is our scale campaign. Our second campaign is our prospecting testing campaign. So we're gonna call that PR-testing. Our third campaign is a retargeting campaign. That's where we're gonna hit people who've been to our site but have never converted before, and I'm gonna get more into that in just a moment. And then our final campaign is our retention campaign. These are people who have purchased, they've transacted with us, and again, I'm gonna show you the exact audiences within there. Before we even get to the audiences though, I need to show you how the graduation process works, and then I'm gonna take you back and actually show you each individual audience and how to set these up. What we wanna focus on first is how do we get campaigns and how do we get ads to actually scale into this scaling mechanism right here. The way that we do this is we take the best performing ads from our PR testing or prospecting testing campaign and we graduate those into the scale campaign. This is literally the whole process. The best ads get moved up. That's it. Every 1 to 2 weeks, we take a look inside the prospecting testing campaign and we scale the top spending and the top driving revenue ads. We don't worry about the ad that spent $10 and drove a 45 return on ad spend. Those are called cherry pickers. They're fine. You just keep those, they're bottom feeders, keep them in there, no big deal. But what we do is we duplicate the best ads from the prospecting testing campaign into the scale campaign. Then what we do is on a 2-week cycle, we look inside the scale campaign and we pause anything down that is significantly underperforming. In the retargeting and the retention campaigns, every single ad goes into these campaigns. It is important to have an abundance of ads in your retargeting and retention campaigns. And this sounds a little funky, but the reason for this is your frequency is gonna be so high. You're gonna be showing ads so many times to the same people that you have to make sure they see a variety of ads. What I don't wanna do is just put my #1 performing ad in there and they see the same ad every single day, 5 times a day, nonstop on their Instagram feed. They're gonna get sick of you. They're gonna either report your ad, they're gonna say spam, they're gonna comment something crappy. We don't want any of that at all. We wanna get rid of that as quickly as possible. What we want to do and how we counter that is we literally launch almost all of our ads into the retargeting and the retention campaigns. Of course, there's nuanced cases. Of course, you might use different primary text or different headlines or maybe even a different offer, but the core is you have a variety of creative. I'm talking 8 to 20 different kinds of creatives in your retargeting and your retention campaign. You don't have to focus on pausing things down here. You don't have to focus on finding the next ad that works in retargeting and retention. You do need to focus on is having a variety so your customers don't get sick of you. The prospecting testing campaign campaign, I'm gonna show you what the inside of one of these campaigns actually looks like. What you need to focus on is the fact that you have a new broad ad set every single time you launch a new creative. So if you launch a new pack, we call them packs of creatives here. A pack of creative is anywhere from 2 to 5 to 20 different creatives. Those are launched as a new broad audience. So every single time, all of these ad sets, these are all new broad audiences every single time. The key of this and why this works so incredibly well is your ad account learns at the ad account level, the campaign level, the ad set level, and then the ad level. So if you interfere with existing ad sets, you are resetting learning on an extra step that you don't need to be. What you can do instead is just insert a new ad set. Now, all you are interfering with is the campaign level learnings. You're not interfering with campaign ad set and ad learnings, because if you insert ads into an existing ad set, what you're actually going to create is a mass interference where all the ads that were working already now have a new element to consider, and the ad set itself has a new element to consider who to target. So we always do this individually. And what we do is we take the top 10%, maybe 20% of ads if you don't have too many ads, and we graduate the best into the Advantage Plus, the ASC scaling campaign. That scale campaign is where we push, it's where we graduate. Now, one key thing, everyone always asks me about this. How do you know what to graduate and how do you actually graduate? What we do is we sort by spend. Spend is performance. I'm not concerned at all about the ad that goes all the way down to the bottom here that drove a 23x return on ad spend on $11 in spend. I have no interest in this ad. Let this ad live. Let this ad continue to drive me cash. But guess what this ad's not going to do? This ad's not going to scale, because if it could scale, Facebook was going to spend more money on it. So what we do instead is we look at the top ads, and we look at the top ads that drove close to our average return on ad spend. Right off the bat, I see a 3.4 when our average was 3.87. I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with this 5.09. I'm very, very comfortable with this 10.07 at a pretty high spend. But what I would do is I would just take the top 10% of these ads and I would graduate those, meaning I click duplicate. I find my new scaling campaign. So it's ASC scaling campaign. We are going to be selecting existing ad set because it's an ASC campaign. So there's actually no ad sets. And the key thing that you need to select here is right here. It says show existing reactions, comments, and shares on new ads. Make sure you click this. If you copy and paste your ads, so if you use Command C or Control C on your computer and you copy your ads, as you can see down in the right corner, it says copy 3 ads. Or if you use the quickly duplicate button, this will not save your existing comments, your existing reactions, your existing likes. You need to actually hard duplicate. I don't know if it's a bug. I don't know if it's intentional, but this is how it works right now. Facebook's a little sneaky with stuff like this. You have to hard duplicate, one copy, show existing reaction, comments, and shares on new ads. It's going to keep all of your social proof on to the next campaign, on to the next setup. That's huge. And then as I promised, I'm just going to give you the sauce and tell you exactly what's in the retargeting and retention campaigns. So in our retargeting campaign, we have engagers over the last 90 days. We have visitors over the last 180 days. We have add to cart over the last 180 days. And then we have anyone who's been on our Klaviyo list over all time. If you want to condense these down, use 30-day visitors, use 30-day engagers, use 30-day add to carts, and keep your Klaviyo list to only people who have engaged. On the retention side, the key here is these are people who have purchased. Don't trick yourself. Someone has either handed you cash or has not handed you cash. If they've handed you cash, if they have made a verified purchase on your account and have not returned, they are in the retention campaign. The retention campaign that we have set up is purchasers over the last 180 days and purchasers over all time. We don't care if you purchased 7 years ago from us. We want to hit you again, and that's why you're right here. The grand finale. This is what you've been waiting for. You know your competitors, you know their top ads, you've copied their top ads, you've created a better structure for your account, and now you're using the graduation process to actually scale the correct creatives steadily, systematically. So what you've been waiting for is how to actually scale. When to scale, how to scale, what is actually right? What should you really do? What you'll notice is that when you listen to this industry, when you listen to gurus, YouTubers, people on Twitter, wherever you get your information, you'll notice that people have this one common trend where they like to scale by 10% per day or 20% per day. Facebook actually will tell you 20% per day. I hate this. They made this up. This is a made up rule. 20% per day is literally something that someone created to not make people too nervous when they scale. What I want you to know is that you can scale as aggressively as you want. This holiday, we literally tripled budgets overnight twice. We went from X dollars in spend to 3X, and then the next day we went from 3X to 9X. The key is we can scale as much as we want to. These platforms do not have any resistance. Unless you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars per day, you're not going to hit a point where you're not able to spend your money. When you're spending your money over a short period of time, there's a number of impressions. As we can see here in the last 30 days, this account drove 21 million impressions. Those impressions take time to build up. If you spend more money, you get more impressions, obviously. Those impressions also take time to convert. So they might take 5 days, 7 days, 20 days to actually convert, and may need to see your ad 2, 3, 4, 5 times. That's what we call frequency. This account had a frequency over the last 30 days of 11. What this means is that on average, someone saw our ad 11.8 times. What this means is as you're scaling, you need to be very cognizant of the fact that you are building a pool of impressions that may convert a little bit later down the line. One of the best ways you can tell if you should be scaling is if you spend more money and you're looking at your Shopify conversion rate. You could look at your Shopify conversion rate on a daily basis. What you'll notice is that if you look at this in real time, you could actually see if when you're spending more money, your conversion rate is going down or if it's staying the same. If your conversion rate is staying the same, congratulations, spend more money. If your conversion rate is plummeting down, be careful. The next thing you need to consider is first-time customers versus repeat customers. Repeat customers are obviously not as impacted by Facebook ads or even any type of ad like Google ads as new customers are. New customers are supremely impacted by new ads. The first time they see an ad is the most impactful time they'll ever see an ad. So what do we want to look at? We want to look at a report called returning customer rate. And what we're able to see here is by day, return customers and first-time customers. This is so key for you because if you see you have a huge amount of returning customers in your business already, you have to understand that as you scale, your actual ROI, not just your ROAS, your ROI is going to deflate, but it doesn't mean you're doing a bad thing. You're just acquiring more new customers, which are more costly than you are existing customers. The third thing that you really want to look out for is your attribution settings. You want to set your campaigns to a 7-day click, 1-day view. But when you optimize and when you make changes, go into your ad account, go down to compare attribution settings and click 1-day click, 7-day click, 28-day click, and 1-day view. And what you're going to be able to see is in each of these breakdowns, if we just look at the revenue column, so this section right here, we can see the total amount of ad revenue driven in each of these attribution windows. If I see very, very, very high 1-day view, that's a red flag. That might mean that I'm actually acquiring customers that we're gonna convert anyway. And that's a bad sign for scale. A great sign for scale is the 1-day click column and the 7-day click column. These are the most reliable sources of click-based data from Facebook. In fact, I'll go as far as saying these are so reliable that they're more accurate in times than things like Triple Whale, AdBeacon, Hyros. They are often more reliable. So just using pure click-based data here and not worrying exactly if the person also saw a Google ad or if they also saw your Instagram or something like that. This click-based data really gets you to where you need to go. And if you see strong click-based ROI, click-based return on ad spend, scale. Double your budgets. It's okay. Monitor that conversion rate. And ultimately, if you monitor that conversion rate, there's really no way you could fail. That conversion rate stays flat or in some cases goes up, and you're putting yourself in a scenario where you're literally making more money at the same conversion rate, you're going to be winning. That is an opportunity for you to scale. And that is how you can scale your account, by finding the best ads from your top competitors based on ads that have worked and proven to work before, so you don't need to test them on your own dime. And then finally putting those into a better structure so you can create not only the body of the car, aka the creative, but also the engine of the car with a structure. And then finally, the driver of the car being able to scale the living F out of these ads. That's all. I hope everyone got value out of this video. If you did, let me know in the comments below. See ya.